Holmes thinks differently, of course. Meanwhile, we've got the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship coming up here, and we'll be back. You're looking at a very relaxed champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, the WBA Light Heavyweight Champion, taking on 6th-ranked Jerry Martin. Born in Antigua, came to Philadelphia as an illegal alien. Now has his papers and is after the WBA crown here today. Excited about the presence of all of the boxing celebrities, and Muhammad Ali, as usual, doing a little sell for his own fight. Upcoming against Larry Holmes.
Boxing in the state of New Jersey, Joe Walcott. Let's have a big hand.
And the introduction at ringside of the New Jersey State Athletic Commission Director, Jersey Joe Walcott. Familiar face at all of the fights around New Jersey, the former heavyweight champion.
Rounds for the World Boxing Association Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. In this corner, he's wearing red trunks trimmed with white stripe, weighed in at 175 pounds, from Philadelphia, the worthy challenger, Jerry Martin.
Well, if the champion is relaxed, take a look at the challenger, and he's been that way all day today. You probably saw him with us on the program earlier.
Wearing white trunks,
very confident, very relaxed, as is the champion.
Weighed in at 175 pounds, from Gothenburg, the very capable champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed.
The former Eddie Gregory won the title from Marvin Johnson, taking on a tough man at his first title defense, Jerry Martin, who beat the almost legendary James Scott, who was unbeaten at the time, handing Scott his first loss, going into Rahway Prison to do it. Knocked him down twice, won the fight handily, and Scott had a lot of respect for him when it was all over. In Martin's corner, his manager and trainer is Leon Tabbs of Philadelphia. His seconds are Milt Bailey and Jimmy Savage. Training the champion is Slim Robinson, and his seconds are Eddie Aliano and Panama Burns. And we're underway with round one action. Martin in the red trunks, the champion, Mustafa Muhammed, in white with green trim. Referee Tony Perez, Tim Ryan, and Gil Clancy live with light heavyweight championship action. Second week in a row here on the Sports Spectacular. And if you missed last week's WBC fight between Matthew Saad Muhammad and Yaki Lopez, you missed one of the great ones in several years. This one figures to be just as good. You never know until they start throwing punches.
Tim, I've noticed both of these fellas look like rocks. They're in great physical condition. There's not an ounce of fat on either fighter.
Martin has somewhat of an unusual body in that his legs are very slender calf muscles and slender all the way through the thigh, and he just explodes from the waist up, wide shoulders and a very thick chest.
Well, there was another fighter that was built the same way, Tim. I had a lot to do with him, also from the West Indies. That was Emil Griffith. Looked like a light heavyweight from the waist up.
You don't have to worry about Martin falling over easily. He's got size 11.5 feet. Well, I guess one thing that hasn't happened so far is Martin the Bull taking a rush at Gregory Mustafa Muhammed early here in this first round. He has been boxing him, at least in this first minute.
Well, they have to feel each other out, Tim. There's a lot of strategy goes into this first round. They try to feel the strength of the other fighter, the force of his blows, and they're both naturally a little cautious. Here at the tennis center of the Playboy Resort. They've had a lot of boxing celebrity watching to do prior to the championship fight. Minute to go in round number one. Thomas Hearns, you saw briefly earlier, we'll be chatting with him at some point during the fight. He has the WBA Welterweight Championship coming up August 2nd, and that will be seen later in the month of August here on the CBS Sports Spectacular against Pepino Cuevas. What a fight that should be, the champion Cuevas and Thomas Hearns from Detroit. Here's that left hook to the body from Mustafa Muhammed. Good movement by Muhammad. He spun Martin beautifully and then hit him with that left hook underneath.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the first round, scheduled for 15. Martin says, I'm a slugger. I tried to box for a couple of fights. I didn't do too well, even though he scored a win over Jesse Burnett. It was a somewhat disputed win. He says, I'm back to being a slugger. That's what I do best. Final seconds of the first round. 2, the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship. The challenger is Jerry Martin in red. The champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, in white.
Tim, I noticed in the first round that Gregory tried to throw a few right hands. They were mostly range-minders, but as quick as he threw them, Martin countered with a right hand, so that could be pretty dangerous. If I was Gregory, Mustafa Muhammed now, but I would be start using that left jab overtime and then try to hook. Save the right hand for a little later on.
Well, just a little bit of showboating here by Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, trying to assert some confidence, dancing and taunting Martin with his movement. Right hand lead.
And there was the right hand counter. That's a little dangerous. You know, these are big fellas, and one punch can change a fight.
The champion came in right at the limit, 175. The challenger, Martin, was a quarter pound over, but he lost it in under a half an hour. He had 2 hours to do so, and he came back in about 20 minutes or so at exactly 175. Right to the body by champion Mustafa Muhammed, and that last exchange landed. Jerry Martin with only one loss on his record against Pablo Ramos. The fight took place in Cleveland, and the scores were announced at the end of each round. Martin claims he was distracted by that. He didn't like it, just felt that he didn't fight as well as he could. His only defeat, decision loss. 27 years of age from Bolan, Antigua. Eddie Mustafa Muhammed is 28.
Muhammad is banging away with that right hand to the ribs every chance he gets. I think he's overusing that right hand for early in the fight. Oh, there was a beauty.
That one landed. Good shot from the champion, Muhammad. Under a minute to go on round number 2.
Well, Tim, Martin's strategy was supposed to be to get inside, keep his forehead on Eddie Gregory's chest and pump away. He hasn't got in there yet.
We haven't seen it at all, and that's all he was working on during the week, and he took a right hand coming in. The champion making it difficult for him to get close so far.
The champion has a cut over his left eye. It's a slight cut now, but it could cause trouble later on.
In my interviews with the champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, I noticed a little scar tissue in exactly that spot. And apparently it has been opened up by Martin here in the second round. 15 seconds to go in round 2. Right hand lead by Martin landed just below that cut eye. Final seconds of the second round.
All right, hold it, break. Stay down there, tell it out.
Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy back here at ringside as we see the two fighters ready to come out, and they have stopped the bleeding on that cut above the left eyebrow, but we'll be watching that closely to see if it's any kind of a factor in the fight as it goes along. Jerry Martin's strategy to get close has been ineffective thus far.
Well, they told Martin between rounds, you've got to stay right on top of him, crowd him, stay on him. Let's see if he does it or tries to do it.
Champion in white, top of your screen. Jerry Martin, the challenger, in red. Those Gregory body punches, they take their toll after a while. He gets a lot of leverage on him. Tabbs, the trainer of Jerry Martin, exhorting him from the corner to stay in, get in and stay in.
Muhammad, the rap on Muhammad in his entire boxing career, we all knew he had all the talent in the world, could punch with either hand, good defensive boxer, but he just never could seem to let himself get off. I mean, everybody's tried to make him get off, but I know you told me in training they said they were going to make a busier fighter out of him. I think the only way that he will become a busier fighter is if the other fighter makes him fight. And that could be the case in this fight as it was with Marvin Johnson. He has the talent when it's brought out of him.
When he was Eddie Gregory back in November of 1977, he had a chance to win the title from Victor Galindez, but just wasn't busy enough. Galindez retained his crown. But he got Marvin Johnson in trouble. Stopped him in the 11th round at Knoxville, Tennessee to win the title. Now Martin's inside throwing punches. Mustafa Muhammed tying him up, spinning him around. on their feet saying, come on, get after him, stay on him. Under a minute to go, round 3, scheduled for 15. Referee is Tony Perez, has had lots of championship experience.
Speaking of experience, Martin has never gone 15 rounds. This could be a factor later in the fight.
Longest he has gone is 12. He's had only 20 fights, literally, had no amateur fights. Became a boxer when he came to the United States. Went into a gym in Philadelphia. Less than 30 seconds to go, down to 20 in round number 3.
I don't like Gregory's strategy or Muhammad's strategy so far. It's twice I've done that. I think he should be snapping his punches, asserting himself. He's walking around that ring.
Final seconds of the 3rd round. Good body shot from Martin. We're awaiting the beginning of round number 4. Jerry Martin against this man, the champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed. Former Eddie Gregory. Hard to get used to calling him by his new name, having covered several fights with him under his old name. It'll come with time. We will wind up having several more Muhammads, since we've now got 2 light heavyweight champions with that name. Matthew Saad Muhammad, the WBC light heavyweight champion, who defended successfully last week. We've got more championship action coming up in the Sports Spectacular. August 2nd, it'll be Aaron Pryor, Antonio Cervantes. Cervantes, the champion. WBA junior welterweight champion. Should be quite a fight. From Cincinnati, live on the Sports Spectacular. Later that night in Detroit, Thomas Hearns and Pepino Cuevas for the WBA welterweight championship. And you'll see that one later. First home showing will be on the CBS Sports Spectacular later in August. Really looking forward to that one. Hearns and Cuevas.
You know, it's a funny thing about boxers, Tim. Mustafa has started out this pace. He's walking around the ring. He's not feinting sharp. He's not moving sharp with his legs. He's waiting for something to happen. This is the old Eddie Gregory instead of the new Mustafa that we're seeing right now. He's going to have to get himself in a little better gear and really get going. Look like he wants to do some damage to this fella.
Slim Robinson is his new trainer. He had him before the Johnson fight. And we noticed in training that he would be busy for 2 or 3 rounds of sparring, and then in the 5th or 6th, if he was working 6 that day, he'd fall back into this kind of a pattern.
Well, there was an example. He slipped a punch, and instead of punching, he looked to grab. He's got to look to punch. And incidentally, they banged heads a minute ago, and that could be dangerous. You can lose a championship by getting busted up with a cut. If I was him, I would really go all out with that great offensive arsenal he has and try to get this fella out of there.
We're in the 4th round, and Thomas Hearns, exciting welterweight from Detroit, has joined us here at ringside. We'll be chatting with him momentarily as he's watching this light heavyweight championship action. Minute to go in round number 4. Gregory on the attack, slams a body punch into the ribs of Martin.
There he is, grabbing again, Gregory. I don't know, he looks for position, then he walks in and smothers himself. And I said Gregory again. Tim, we've done too many fights with him that way. It makes it a little tough, especially I know him so well in so many years.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 4th round. And while the champion Mustafa Muhammed has not been terribly effective with his
punch of the fight,
there's
Tim.
a good combination.
Best punch of the fight. Big right hand on the chin.
Backed up Martin. He's got him in trouble. He's got him in trouble. Martin trying to cover up. Mustafa Muhammed sensing that. Trying to land the big one with the final seconds of the 4th round.
He's out
on the ropes. Jerry Martin. Did the round come to an end? There's the bell ending the round. Martin was on his feet, and he has been saved by the bell here in the 4th round.
Well, Tim, we were talking...
Challenger Martin has been saved by the bell in the 4th round.
Tim, we were talking about that offensive arsenal. When he starts to punch, he can really get you at it. I just don't know why he doesn't do it more often. All the talent in the world.
It was one big right hand, just as we said that his strategy, which you had been critical of, had not been really working for him. All of a sudden, the big bomb that he can throw. There it is. Tremendous right hand, and that rocked Martin. See him staggering, wobbling back into the ropes, and Mustafa Muhammed to the attack. He was saved by the bell as he just got up. As the bell sounded, the count continues after the bell, but Martin was on his feet before the count of 10. So he will at least come out here for round number 5. How much farther it goes, we'll see.
Well, let's see if Mustafa comes out like a tiger or the reluctant dragon. I think it's going to be the tiger. What do you think?
I think that he's going to try and take him out for sure, and Martin doesn't look like he's ready to go any farther. He went right to the ropes. Mustafa Muhammed on the attack, cocking that big right hand he loves to throw.
Martin is still in trouble. He's still wobbly.
He's trying, but he just doesn't have it.
He's still wobbly. He's trying to punch back, Tim, but he's still in trouble.
Left hook just missed from Martin. Mustafa Muhammed measuring, looking to land the one that'll finish him off. Martin's eyes look all right now, but his legs are still wobbling.
Well, he's smart. He grabbed. He's trying to get time, trying to get himself back together. One more big shot will do it, though, Tim. Put him back in trouble again.
Mustafa Muhammed stalking his game. Martin backing up, getting against the ropes and trying to counter, but he just hasn't got any zip on those punches.
There was a good right hand right between Martin's hands.
He's got him in trouble again, but Martin ties him up. 5th round of this WBA light
like this.
heavyweight fight.
We used to say one feint and then throw a combination.
Martin breathing heavily, backing up, trying to get himself together, trying to get some strength back in those legs. If he could get through this round, he might still make a fight of it.
It's like a fuse of dynamite waiting to go off. You're waiting for that big one from Gregory. Muhammad did it again.
This is not unlike the fight against Marvin Johnson, when the then Eddie Gregory knocked Johnson down in the 3rd round, but didn't get him until the 11th. A lot of people thought he could have finished him off, at least in the 4th round. But he let him off the hook and just wore him down. He finally stopped it in the 11th. Martin battling back with a little bit more zip now. And a good left jab straightens him up again. And the champion, a minute to go in round 5. To connect on that flurry, and that's his trainer Leon Tabbs hollering from the corner, and he's regaining a little bit of strength there. Champion Mustafa Muhammed showing patience, but really that's all he's showing, is he's still trying to land a big one.
Beautiful combination by Mustafa that time, Tim. Under and over.
25 seconds to go, a heavy right hook.
Power. Tim, I believe that he has the power to fight heavyweights. He can punch hard enough. He can make it interesting for Larry Holmes or anybody else.
Well, there's been some talk about that, Gil. Mustafa Muhammed himself saying that after he's done in the light heavyweight ranks, he wants to move up. Final seconds, 5th round. Martin has survived through this 5th round. They're working on Jerry Martin in his corner, Milt Bailey, the second, and Leon Tabbs, his trainer, and he got through that 5th round. Thomas Hearns has joined us here at ringside with his big championship fight against Pepino Cuevas coming up. What about this one? Can Martin last?
Oh, I don't look like it to me, Gil. Martin is seen to have trouble to holding on. Every time he get hurt, he starts holding on. I think he's fighting a really smart fight. If he keep fighting the fight that he's fighting now, I think he can last.
You think he's doing the right thing, being patient, just kind of measuring Martin, not trying to go after him in a hurry, but just wear him down, look for the big one?
Yes, I think he's doing the right thing because Martin is definitely hurt. Eddie has Martin hurt, so Martin is definitely doing the right thing. He's taking his time, trying to set his pace, which is a good thing to do.
We're in the 6th round of this scheduled 15-rounder. Thomas Hearns coming up August 2nd against Pepino Cuevas from Mexico, the WBA champion. Later in the month, you'll see the first home showing of that welterweight championship fight. And Thomas, as we watch these gladiators go, what's going to happen in your fight?
Well, I'm definitely looking for a good fight. I've been training now for 4 weeks. I've been training at the Muhammad Ali farm. And right now, everything is going really good for me, and I'm expecting a really great fight.
Cuevas is known as a real hard puncher, as you are. Doesn't figure that fight will go the distance.
No, I don't think that it will go 15 rounds, but I care less about how hard Cuevas can punch because I know what my capabilities are, and I know what I can do, so I'm not even worried about Cuevas.
All right, Thomas, stick with us here. We'll get your comments on this fight as it goes along. We'd like to alert our stations along the line. There'll be a station break at the end of this round. We're in the 6th round of this WBA light heavyweight championship fight. And Martin has seemed to gather himself a little bit. He hasn't been able to throw with any kind of force so far, but he's kept himself in the fight, Gil.
Well, in this particular round, Mustafa has done absolutely nothing. He hasn't thrown a punch in anger in the entire round. Again, he's looking for that one big punch, which happens to a lot of fighters that can really punch. They don't realize that you have to start the motor. If he starts his hands moving, the big punch will come by itself. Instead, he's looking for it.
Well, it's similar, as we commented earlier, to his fight with Marvin Johnson. We had him down in the 3rd round, but it went all the way to 11 before he finally stopped him. And if you let a guy off the hook, there's always that possibility that he comes up with a big one. Minute to go in round 6.
Especially with that abrasion over his left eye. That could be opened at any time, Tim.
Jerry Martin in red, the champion. Eddie Mustafa Muhammed in white.
There he goes again. He slipped the punch. Instead of countering, he just smothered the other fellow and walked around the ring.
Martin starting to bang a little better inside there over on the ropes. Looking to show a little more power on his punches. Getting some strength back. He was nearly out of it in round 4. We're coming to the end of round number 6. Today's CBS Sports Spectacular will continue after this word from your local station. Round number 7, scheduled for 15. Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, the champion of the WBA light heavyweight ranks. Jerry Martin, the challenger in red. Martin, the man who beat the undefeated James Scott. Scott had handed the then Eddie Gregory a defeat. Martin getting a quick title opportunity in just his 21st professional fight. He has not been the aggressive force that he had planned to be in this fight. It has cost him, and he was down in round 4, saved by the bell. Missed with that right hand.
You notice Mustafa threw that right hand and Martin threw that counter again. I'm telling you, one big punch can always change a fight around. It's funny, Tim, Martin's strategy was to crowd Mustafa, and Mustafa's strategy was to be much more busy than he had been in the past. Now they're both back into a complete opposite pattern.
That was a slip. He missed on his own punch there and lost his balance. Go ahead, Gil.
I noticed in the preliminaries that the ring was slick, and it's very difficult to fight when the canvas is slick this way, Tim.
20-foot ring here at the Playboy Resort, or the tennis pavilion.
There's that slipping. He slips beautifully, which is the hard part of it, and then the easy part is to move your hand, and he doesn't move his hand. Instead, he comes in and he smothers the punches. I'm talking about Mustafa.
The old Clancy with Tim Ryan ringside, live on the Sports Spectacular. Mustafa Muhammed just grazing Martin with that uppercut right. Tony Perez, the referee. He and 2 judges at ringside will do the scoring if it goes the distance.
Okay, great. Step back.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammed always looks very calm, very contained, and just confident that he's going to get that bomb away that's going to end a fight. He's had 30 knockouts and 35 wins. Under 30 seconds to go in the 7th round.
But you know, Tim, it's tough when you work in a corner with a fighter like this because you know what he can do. You know the talent he has, and he's not using it, and you figure he can use it at any time he wants to. Seems like he can turn it on, turn the switch on any time, and he just doesn't turn it on. That's in boxing we say he's not getting off.
20 seconds left, round 7. Coming to the end of the 7th round. Has to bode well for Martin's chances. Getting up before the count of 10. and has had now 3 rounds, really, Gil, to kind of get himself back together. He looks fairly fresh now. Let's see whether he can turn anything around, because he has not been an offensive force in this fight at all thus far. We're in the 8th round of this 15-round WBA Light Heavyweight Championship. August 2nd, here on the Sports Spectacular, our next championship fight, Aaron Pryor and Antonio Cervantes for the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Live from Cincinnati. Coming up in October, the WBA Heavyweight Championship, Mike Weaver and Harry Kutsia from Sun City in Bophuthatswana, Southern Africa. Perez having to work a little harder, the referee now, and separating them. They seem to be tying each other up more as the fight goes on.
There's really no pace to the fight. They're both standing very still, smothering punches as Mustafa just did then. There's no lateral movement. No, they're not circling each other. They're just standing in front of each other. Good left hook by Mustafa.
Good left from the champion, and snapped back the head of Martin. He lands a good left jab. Well, through 8 rounds, this is no comparison to last week's WBC Light Heavyweight Championship here on the Sports Spectacular. Mustafa Muhammed and Yaki Lopez. At this point, they'd thrown about 2,000 punches each and landed most of them. This is a different kind of fight.
We had mentioned earlier that Martin had never gone 15 rounds. I notice his mouth is open now. He's starting to breathe a little heavily. That could be a big factor.
Martin on the attack. It looked to me like Mustafa really just kind of lost his balance trying to duck away. He did take a punch, but I don't think it really staggered him.
Very slippery ring cam. Tim, he slipped. That's why he got hit with that punch. They need Rosin. The cornerman should put Rosin in the corner between rounds. He needs Rosin.
Under a minute to go in the 8th round, and now Martin forcing the issue a little more than he has in the entire fight so far.
Well, as we mentioned, Tim, if he forces the action, that's when he's going to get hit. You notice he's backing up now.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 8th round. Mustafa Muhammed has always been hard to hit, and he's showing that again in this fight.
There's that slipping. That's the hard part. Again, Martin was open for the counter. He did not throw the punch.
Coming to the end of the 8th round. Martin cannot win the fight this way. We're here at the Playboy Resort in Great Gorge, New Jersey, and the pictures might tell you that. Thank you very much. Service is very nice here at ringside. And we're awaiting round number 9, and there's the champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed. Jerry Martin, who managed to get off the floor on the 4th round and get himself back into the fight, but has not been able to force the issue. Round number 9.
Martin was showing a little signs of weariness in that 8th round. Tim, I think that we may see Muhammad pick up the pace a little bit now.
Eddie seems to know better than anybody else when he's got a guy ready. Stopped Marvin Johnson in the 11th round after having him down in the 3rd. Thomas Hearns ready to fight his welterweight championship. August 2nd is still with us at ringside. If we can open the hand mic, we'll ask Thomas for his comments since Martin has managed to keep himself in the fight. Thomas, you a little surprised that he's still in there?
Yes, I am really sort of surprised. Martin is holding on. He's definitely coming out now. He seems to be regaining his strength now back, and Martin is really adding the pressure, putting the pressure on now. Eddie is just taking his time, using his left hand, moving, making him miss. Martin is doing an awful lot of missing too, because Eddie seems to be a very hard person to hit, not very easy.
All right, Thomas Hearns has a championship fight coming up. You'll see it later in August on the Sports Spectacular. It takes place August 2nd on closed circuit television from the Joe Louis Arena. We thank you, Thomas, for being with us, and we wish you the best of luck.
Okay, I would like to say hello to all of my friends back in Berrien Springs.
Okay. Hello to all his fans. Thomas Hearns, thanks very much for being with us. Good luck August 2 against Pepino Cuevas in the WBA Welterweight Championship. round action with Jerry Martin trying to get something started here, but not following his own fight plan at all. They said Sugar Ray Leonard didn't follow his fight plan against Roberto Duran. Duran wouldn't let him. And you think that's the case here with Mustafa Muhammed?
Well, it's all right for the cornerman to tell you to run in, get inside, but when you start running into those big bombs, you think twice. Don't forget, he was down in the fight and he was hurt. So I don't know how much of a chance he wants to take, but for him to win the fight, he's going to have to gamble.
We're in the final minute of the 9th round. Challenger Jerry Martin keeping himself in the fight, but Mustafa Muhammed having pretty much his own way thus far. That looked like a low blow, and the look on Eddie's face indicated it was, but no warning yet from the referee, Tony Perez. 15 seconds left in the 9th round. Tim Reinick, Joe Clancy, live on the Sports Spectacular. Martin scoring inside there, but tied up quickly as we come now to the end of round number 9. Well, the lady in the pink hat here at ringside is singer Connie Francis. Next to her is Dennis Rappaport on the left. He is the manager of gentleman Jerry Cooney, and there's Jerry Cooney on the left of your screen. Number 1 ranked heavyweight. Watching with interest here as we head into round 10. Get inside as he did there. Mustafa Muhammed has tied him up pretty well. One of those heavy body shots from the champion. The way we see it, the champion comfortably ahead. Knockdown in the 4th round. So far on our cards, we've given Martin only 3 rounds, including the last of the 9th. There's Martin showing his upper body strength. Fortunately, you don't score any points for that kind of work.
Tim, I would never use the word comfortably in a fight like this. As you said, we've only given Martin 3 rounds, but Gregory hasn't been winning the rounds by a big margin. And we just don't know how the judges are scoring it.
Oh, absolutely. That's always our disclaimer. There's Leon Tabbs, Martin's trainer and manager, looking on anxiously.
Hands up, left hand.
The way we see it can have no relevance at all to the way the judges see it.
That's right. The moral of the story is when you're in the corner with a fighter, you want him to win, and you want him to win every round and big. If he's a better fighter, why shouldn't he win every round? And they're supposed to be in condition to fight 15 rounds, so they don't have to rest for a round. Those are the kind of fighters that become super champions.
We're in the 10th round, and the champion here is Eddie Mustafa Muhammed in white. The challenger from Antigua, now a resident of Philadelphia, Jerry Martin in red. Under a minute to go in round 10. Oh, there he goes.
A big right hand over a jab.
Tremendous right hand from Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, and Martin is up, but he is very wobbly. And the referee taking a close look at him, Tony Perez.
He said he wants to fight.
Tremendous right hand, and there's a straight right. He's got him hurt on the ropes, and that's probably going to be it. It is. Eddie Mustafa Muhammed in the 10th round, as he did against Marvin Johnson in the 11th, taking his time, fighting his fight, comes up with the knockout victory of the challenger, Jerry Martin, the man many thought was too tough a challenger for him to meet in his first title defense. But Eddie Mustafa Muhammed was never concerned, and he fought the fight the way he wanted to fight it, and he has retained his title, receiving the congratulations of his fans and a lot of the Muhammad Ali people that he has been training with down at Deer Lake. So Eddie Mustafa Muhammed with a 10th round knockout. Tony Perez stopping the action about a minute into the 10th round, and there you see Jerry Martin, who just was overwhelmed by Eddie Mustafa Muhammed. We'll see it again.
Right hand over the jab, Tim. There it was, right on the temple.
Great punch, and you could see that Martin was literally floored with that one hard right hand. And there's the champion, and he has taken on a man that many thought was a little too tough for his first title defense. And we'll be back here to talk to the winner in just a moment. All right, there is the usual chaos in the ring. We're trying to get the champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed, down here. And Jerry Martin, the vanquished challenger, stopped in the 10th round. A devastating right hand being the one that finished him off. And Tony Perez stepping in after he did make the count. Tony Perez stepping in after he took a couple of more shots and saying that's enough. And we're now bringing Eddie Mustafa Muhammed down to our broadcast location here. And we'll be chatting with the guy that fights his own fight. And he fought it again here.
Sit in there, Ed.
And he's joined us here at ringside. Eddie, another great performance by you. You seem to fight your own fight. And although a lot of times people think maybe you lay back a little too long and keep your opponent in the fight, you seem to know always when you can end it. And you did that again here.
Well, I was prepared to go 15 rounds. But since everybody's talking about he's the bull, I had to show everybody that I'm the matador. And behind the superior left jab that I was using, I can bring over anything. I can hook off my jab, and I can also throw the straight right hand, which I caught him as he threw his jab, because I watched him when he fought James Scott. Scott threw his jab, and he countered, so I figured I could do the same thing. And
it certainly worked for you. You delivered exactly that punch. In the 4th round, you had him down. Is this, what round are we in here now? This is the final round, the 10th round action. We're going to see exactly what you described. Perhaps you can show us again. Talk about his jab.
I'm still setting him up. See, he's waiting to throw his jab. Boom! You see, there it is right there. Right hand over. I'm just setting him up.
Right over top of there.
Absolutely perfectly delivered. We're going to see it again. We'll watch Martin's jab. That was a good jab of yours right there.
See, he was throwing it too high. I told him to bring it down a little bit.
Right over. Right over. I owe everything to my corner, my trainers, and the almighty Allah. Who it wasn't for him, this victory is him.
Slim Robinson wanted you to be a little busier fighter than you have been, and yet you look like the Eddie Gregory and now the Eddie Mustafa Muhammed we know. You seem, once the fight is on, to understand your opponent and set your own pace.
Yes, because all fighters are different. You just can't go in there and throw punches and bunches, whereas you have to study a fighter. You know, like I study all my fighters from the 1st and 2nd round. And from the 2nd round on, I knew I had him.
When you knocked him down in the 4th round, most fighters would try to finish him either then or in the 5th round, but it was like the Johnson fight. You were patient.
Well, Yaki Lopez thought he had sawed out. You see what happened to him? He ran out of gas. You see, I'm still in the learning process. I'm still learning.
Gil?
Eddie, I feel that you have just about as much talent as any fighter in the ring today. And you give me the impression that you can get these guys out of there almost anytime you want. Anytime you want to turn the switch on and start doing your feinting and hooking off your jab and things like that, you can do the job.
Yes, Gil. See, sometimes, you know, the fight, it'd be so easy that I get bored. I hate to say that, but I get bored. But, you know, that's a tribute to my skills. You see, I'm hitting these guys with such ease that I'm bored. You see? I'm bored.
This is in the 4th round, Eddie. You didn't look bored here. This is the first time you sent him down. Another big right hand.
Yeah, I'm just setting everything up. I owe everything to Allah. Allah Akbar, the true God. I like to say hello to my 2 daughters that I'd be home soon to see all y'all. I haven't seen them in so long.
All right, Eddie, there are 2 questions that have to be asked. You won this fight. It's over. You're still a champion. Will you fight Matthew Saad Muhammad to unify the title? The public wants one champion in every division. The fighters are the guys that have to make that happen, not the promoters. The fighters have to.
Well, we're still meeting. The Nation of Islam is still meeting, and I can't make an announcement until after all the meetings is acquitted.
But you told us the other day you do want to fight him. You did say that personally.
If the council says, Mustafa, the fight it's okay to fight, then we fight.
All right, now the other question is, you've also talked about moving into the heavyweight ranks at some point. Do you have a timetable for that, and how well do you think you'd do?
Well, from right now, I will knock Larry Holmes out. Larry Holmes, you witnessed my power today, and I was bored doing that. And imagine what I'll do to you.
Well, of course, he's got to face Muhammad Ali first before he would even get a chance. You might not get to fight him.
Well, I hope Muhammad don't do nothing too much severe to him, because I want him bad. He talked too much.
All right, congratulations to you, Eddie Mustafa Muhammed. An impressive display here, defending your title for the first time. A lot of people thought you shouldn't take it on such a tough guy in your first title defense. You showed that he wasn't tough enough.
Well, I'm from Brownsville. That's where everybody's tough at.